Alright, so you guys are currently on tour.
Yes, we are.
Awesome.
We're on tour with Falling in Reverse and Lotus Sleeping.
Okay. How's that tour going overall? What can you tell me about that?
It's actually doing really good. The band's Falling in Reverse, they have like a little hype thing going on because Ronnie, the lead singer, used to be in Escape the Fate, and then he went to jail and came back and started a new band.
Okay.
So it's a lot of Escape the Fate following.
Okay.
Up to the gigs. So, but a lot of their shows have been sold out or moved to bigger venues. So we didn't expect that. That's pretty cool.
Okay, cool. So what is it like to be on a tour and play some of those shows and see fans from a band like Escape the Fate coming out to see the show, and what's that like for you guys?
Do you mean like what are the fans like?
Yeah, what are the fans like?
They're kind of younger, but like we're one of those bands that we've found over the years of touring that we kind of have a various age range of fans. Like we have like metalheads, the older ones, and then we have like the newer age metalheads, and then we have like the younger like pre-teen kids who are into the really scene stuff.
Okay.
So like the fans that are Falling in Reverse are definitely like into us, especially since the majority of them are girls.
Okay.
And girls have always been like really into us just because we're doing something that not many girls are doing.
Okay.
So
cool.
Yeah.
Alright, so August 9th you released your latest album, White Lotus. What can you tell me about that record overall? Kind of how is it different from your previous record, Broken Frames, and other releases from the past?
It started out as something that we really wanted to do for the fans because we put out an EP a long time ago, and a lot of the kids that were coming up to the shows kept saying that they wanted to hear like our older songs, and like we didn't really like our older songs that much because we were like writing them and we wrote them in like high school. So we wanted to take some of them and rewrite them so we could be playing those songs the way that we would enjoy, and yet still have the fans excited about the songs. And then like during that process we ended up writing a bunch of newer songs too, so we just put those out as well. And then I had some acoustic songs that I wanted to share with our fans too, just because I always have like material. I don't like to just keep it in me. Recording it is kind of like, I don't know, feels like I'm putting a piece of me out there instead of just holding it in. So we used some of that acoustic stuff too, and it was going to be an EP, but now it's just a full length.
Okay. So is there any symbolicism in the title of White Lotus, and how did you come up with that title?
I wanted to really do something symbolical because we never really thought of doing that with like CD covers, and I thought of White Lotus because it represents like rebirth and renewal, and I feel like that's like the perfect symbolization for our band just because we've been through so many members and we've been through so many phases that I feel like this is the first time where we're actually where we actually know what we want to do and what we want to sound like, and we have like a clear mindset.
Okay.
So I feel like a White Lotus represents that the most.
What's that?
That's what I feel like a White Lotus, since that's what it represents, that would be the best thing to put on the front, just because that's like the stage that our band's in right now.
Okay, cool. Now on the album you cover Hole and Nirvana. How did you decide on those two artists and those two songs by those two artists to cover?
Nirvana and Hole are like my favorite. Both of my favorite bands, not like favorite bands of all time or anything, but I listened to both of them like growing up, and just recently still. But I really liked Polly because it was a song that I heard electric and then I heard it on Unplugged, and it kind of reminded me of some of the stuff that I do with my band, like I do acoustic versions. So that's why I did that song. And then for Doll Parts, I just really liked her lyrics.
Okay. Okay, cool. Now I Said to Kill, you guys started in 2003. How have you evolved musically, and what is it like to share the stage with your sister for all these years?
It's good because she's been the constant in my life. So, and I rely on her, like, to keep me staying on the road when everything else is changing. But, yeah, I can't imagine touring without her, so.
Okay. And how do you feel that you personally and the band has evolved musically throughout the years?
Well, I think for the most part, like we've gone through a lot of members, and it's been because of either like musical, like artistic differences, or just people not being able to, like be able to be away from home for so long. It's like a lot of different things that I feel like it's been like a really rough road this whole time of being in a band, but right after we finished White Lotus, I feel like we are finally at the place where we want to be. Like we're free agents and we have full say of like what we want to be, instead of having everyone tell us what they think we should do with our songs and all that stuff that comes with the label.
Okay. Speaking of a label, recently you started your own label, I believe 4C Records. Is that correct?
Yeah.
What can you tell me about that? How did that come about? And how long have you, how long have you wanted to do something like that? And what does that mean for you as a band and musically and artistically?
We never really thought about doing it before because, we got signed, after one of our first offers, and we were so young we didn't even, think about shopping around, and we kind of just, jumped at the first offer in a way, and we never got the chance to do what we really wanted to do and, be smart about the decisions we were making, so, this was, just an idea just because we wanted to be in charge of everything, because we feel like we've never been able to have artistic opinions that actually we thought out with. I felt like there were a lot of times on our older label where I wanted to be in charge of the cover of our albums, and they had an in-house guy, or they didn't like my ideas, even though on the writer of the band, they still didn't want, I didn't get the right support, I felt like.
Okay.
And that's what is an advantage of having your own label, because you support yourself and you share ideas with the people who care about your project and really want to go in the same direction as you. Okay. But with labels, sometimes it's not that easy.
Okay. Now, when you have your own label and when you're on a major, bigger label, what are some of the differences that come with shopping your record out, or not shopping, but releasing your record? What are some of the differences that you found come with that, with having your own label?
Well, the cool thing about the technical stuff, distribution and all of that, is our manager, he worked for our other label. Okay. when we weren't free, and so he learned a lot about that stuff, so he helps us out a lot with the stuff that we don't know on our own about putting our album out, so having him there was really helpful. Okay.
So you guys have released albums fairly close to each other in time. It seems like almost a year to 2 years away from each other, and a lot of bands will take 3 to 4 to 5 years to release a record. What does it take to do that? What does it take from you to do that? And how are you able to come up with new material on such a frequent basis and keep it such high quality and so good?
But sometimes it's kind of like negative and positive, because sometimes we were stressed out when we would go in, just because we were like, oh my god, we've been on tour this whole time. I didn't feel like I wrote it all, but then right when we go in the studio, it changes because you've had a couple months of, you know, experiencing whatever you are on the road, and sometimes things just come out like that you didn't know you were holding inside, and that's what the case was for me. And then there'd be other times, like during for Broken Frames, like I had most of that stuff written, but just because we were on tour for like a while. So there's been times where we had everything, just because I write a lot. Even when I put out my own solo album, just because I had a lot of stuff that I wrote on the road, and I didn't want to like put that with ESTK stuff, because then it would have been like a 25 track album or something.
Okay. Now, next month, you'll be headed to Las Vegas to take part in the 48 Hours Festival, which is a huge 2-day festival. It looks like everybody who's anybody in metal and rock is playing that show. We're talking you guys, Avenged Sevenfold, Korn, everybody. Have you had a chance to look at that yet? Because I know you're on tour. And how does it feel, and what is it like for you to be able to share the stage with such big names like those artists?
It's really cool, especially because I've listened to, like, I'm a fan of like Korn and Avenged Sevenfold, so I'm really excited just to see them and be able to tell my friends, yeah, we played with Korn and Avenged Sevenfold. No big deal or anything, just because I don't know, it's cool to go back home and tell people that, you know, you're really doing it, even though they doubted you.
Okay. Now, on the 8th, I believe, you're going to be in Des Moines, Iowa, which I'll be actually covering that show. This will be the first time I've seen ESTK live. What is, and for our readers who have never had a chance to see you guys, can you take me through a typical ESTK show and what that entails? What is that like for the people that are there? And what is it like for you to be on stage every night?
Going on stage is relieving because I don't know, I'm a really quiet person, so when I go on stage I get to let all my demons out.
Okay.
And I don't know how to explain the whole live thing, because we always get asked that question, but we kind of just jam. We're more of like I feel like a big thing right now is just, you know, a bunch of, like the thing that's blowing up right now is cute boys in tight pants choreographing headbangs and flipping guitars and all that jazz. But we just jam on stage and have a good time.
Okay. What are some of the songs you're bringing out on this tour? A lot of bands will switch it up every tour or whatnot. What songs are you playing from the new record, and are you bringing in any of the old favorites back for this tour?
Yeah, we always play one favorite. It's called Darling, and it's one of those songs where sometimes we're like, oh man, I don't want to play that song, we've been playing it for so long. But it's one of the favorite songs as well, just because the fans we always know they're there to hear that song, and see how happy they get when they hear it. It's really cool. But we're gonna, for the most part, be playing a lot of songs off of White Lotus.
Okay. Awesome. Is there anything else you wanted to add that maybe I didn't get a chance to touch on with you that you'd like to tell our readers or anything like that?
I don't know. I guess just to let the fans know that we're really thankful that they followed us for so many years throughout the member changes and all the bullshit we've been through, and yeah, just a huge thank you.